Hello, I'm Cindy Lopez, and you're watching News Xstreem. We begin with a historic and emotional announcement from our neighbors to the north. After more than 150 years of deep military and economic ties, Canada is signaling the end of its long-standing special relationship with the United States. Prime Minister Mark Carney delivered a solemn televised address last week to over 41 million Canadians, declaring what many are now calling the end of the US-Canada era. His words were clear. The old relationship with the United States is over, and at the heart of the rupture, tariffs and tension with President Donald Trump. Let's take a look at a clip from that press conference. You can check out the full video in the link in the video description.
Be clear. We're all on the same page. We won't back down. We will respond forcefully. Nothing is off the table to defend our workers and our country. Now, to my fellow Canadians, I don't want to set unreasonable expectations. The road ahead will be long. There is no silver bullet. There is no quick fix. And I know and I understand that many are feeling anxious and worried about the future. Fundamental change is always unsettling. But I have every confidence in our country because I understand what President Trump does not. That we love Canada with every fiber of our being. Because we are stronger when we are together, and Canadians are uniting as never before. Now, we are going to have to live the lessons of recent months. First, that we have to look out for ourselves. And second, that we have to look out for each other. The federal government will do everything in its power to protect Canadian workers and businesses. We will be here for you every step.
In his March 27th address from Parliament Hill, Prime Minister Carney pointed to what he described as a fundamental shift in North American relations. Citing President Trump's aggressive tariff campaign, including heavy levies on Canadian steel, aluminum, and now automobiles, Carney said it's time for Canada to, quote, reimagine our economy and prepare for a drastically different world. The auto industry, once a bedrock of US-Canada cooperation, has now become a battleground. In response to Trump's Liberation Day tariff announcement, Carney imposed retaliatory tariffs of 25% on US auto imports, signaling the unraveling of a partnership that began with the 1965 Auto Pact.
Reaction across the border has been swift. Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont criticized President Trump's moves, saying he ended the several hundred-year friendship between the countries. Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska warned the tariffs would hurt both sides, especially border states. Prime Minister Carney warned the broader impact could be a rupture in the global economy and an end to America's post-WW2 era of economic leadership. He announced a two-pronged plan. First, to renegotiate a new economic and security framework with the U.S. after Canada's April 28th federal election. And second, to lead the creation of a new international coalition that excludes the U.S., built on shared democratic values and mutual respect. Carney has wasted no time, traveling to France, the UK, and holding talks with leaders in Germany, Mexico, and Australia. These moves are part of a broader push to strengthen ties with like-minded democracies and diversify Canada's global alliances. Foreign Minister Melanie Joly echoed the Prime Minister's message during her visit to Brussels, telling NATO allies that the US-Canada relationship will never be the same again. She also warned that if the US could impose such penalties on its closest ally, no one is safe. As the Canadian election heats up, even Carney's conservative rival Pierre Poilievre agrees it's time for a tough renegotiation. Despite their deep policy differences, both leaders appear united in confronting the Trump administration's trade crackdown. But with political instability in Washington, some Canadian experts are urging caution before any deal is made. A new Canadian report titled Broken Trust outlines serious concerns about negotiating with what it calls an unreliable ally. It's a sentiment spreading fast across Canada, where the public and political establishment alike are grappling with what many call the betrayal of a neighbor and friend. Back on the campaign trail, Carney visited Montreal and pledged increased support for the CBC, saying Canada's culture, and specifically French identity, is under threat from the U.S. president. Speaking in French, he vowed to protect Canada's values from what he called American assimilation. And while President Trump has gone unusually quiet on the matter, referring to Carney for the first time respectfully as Prime Minister Mark, it remains unclear whether this is a sign of diplomatic thaw or simply a pause in the storm.